One of the boats is turned off down the infield, coming around, now trying to cut into the course. Thriftway is on the outside. Hawaii Kai is coming down. Miss US 1 comes into the inside. Thriftway is fourth over from the buoy lane. Thriftway is coming down with Hawaii Kai. Short circuit is on the inside. Here is the go, and there's the gun, and here's the start. Miss Thriftway goes out real hard and cuts over now, trying to get to that south corner ahead of Hawaii Kai. It's a two-boat battle as we have Such Crest 3 milling around up the north turn, still trying to get in there. Who will be through that corner first? A lot of spray. And through that corner real hard. It's the Hawaii Kai. And Short Circuit is well back. And Miss Thriftway is on the outside. Just buried in the spray. Hawaii Kai. And then on the outside corner we have Miss Thriftway coming real hard in the spray. You can't see her. And Hawaii Kai doing a great job up the backstretch. And the rest of the boats spread off back coming out of the south corner. This is Heat 2A. Hawaii Kai moving real hard. And Miss Thriftway is buried back in the spray and is probably about a half buoy length behind. Muncey driving to the outside. Couldn't get to the corner. Crossing over on Hawaii Kai. Jack Regas moving in real hard now into the top of the north turn, and the first time around their speed up the backstretch 137 miles an hour. Their speed through the turn 74 miles an hour. First time around, Hawaii Kai leading at the top of the north turn, and it's Miss Seattle, or rather Miss Thriftway on the outside. Miss Seattle is out of it. Miss US 1 is moving in, and Short Circuit is fourth, and Gale 5 is fifth. Hawaii Kai jumping and leaping out there as he turned tight off the fifth buoy, and Miss Thriftway swings wide and is losing a little ground to him. Past the 1,000-foot mark, Hawaii Kai out in front. And here she comes down to the line. The leader, Hawaii Kai, followed by Miss Thriftway in second place. Miss Thriftway is 2 seconds behind and goes out after Jack Regas real hard. In third place, Such Crest 3 is just now getting started and is well behind the field. 1 lap behind, Miss US 1, then Such Crest, or rather Short Circuit, and coming out of the turn is Gale 5. Now, as we go into the south corner, here's a real tough battle for you between two talented kids. Hawaii Kai running on the inside corner, and it's Miss Thriftway running on the outside corner, trying to get to him. Coming at him real hard now, as we are rounding the south corner for the second time. Both boats moving real nicely. It's Miss Thriftway now starting to make her bid, coming around on that outside corner. Hawaii Kai is down in the water. That's all for her. And it is Miss Thriftway going out in front at the 1/4 mark of the backstretch. As once again, Hawaii Kai gets up and goes. She's having trouble through those corners once again with her fuel. Here comes Miss Thriftway out in the lead now with Hawaii Kai hot after her. We are in the second lap. Hawaii Kai losing the lead right out of the south corner as her engine failed her. And it is Miss Thriftway moving in now past the deceleration buoy on her second time around the course. There is Short Circuit in third place. And the other two boats are dragging back out of the south corner, so there will be a lapping. This is terrific speed. The first time around the course, 111 miles an hour for Hawaii Kai, and Thriftway 109 miles an hour. And Maverick has Thriftway by 12 seconds a time on their effort, as Maverick was in a real tough heat. Here comes Miss Thriftway out of the north corner, coming down to the 1,000-foot mark, and it's Regas hot after her now, as he had a tough time coming out of that south corner. Hawaii Kai falling a little bit behind, having trouble evidently with her steering. She's down in the water again. And it is Miss Thriftway riding real hard now, moving down the inland stretch toward the south corner as Hawaii Kai goes dead in the water at the 1,000-foot mark. Jack Regas and Hawaii Kai coming out of the north corner now. We have Such Crest 3 a lap behind the field on the inside corner, being shut off as Short Circuit comes around and takes over and is in second place now as Hawaii Kai can't make it go. This is the same thing that happened to her at Tahoe. A real crushing thing for Regas and Hawaii Kai. Here is Miss Thriftway riding real hard out of the south corner, riding in first place. Short Circuit in second place at 35 seconds behind. Here is a renewal of the duel between Chuck Thompson and Bill Muncey. Hawaii Kai trying to get back into the course. Gale 5 is coming down now. She is last in the field. I beg your pardon, she is not. Such Crest 3 is last in the field. So here's your checkoff in the second lap. Hawaii Kai still hasn't made it across the line yet. She's dead in the water out here right next to the official barge. Miss Thriftway is running in first place, just now approaching the north turn on her third time around the course, as Thriftway averaged 109 miles an hour the first time around and probably just about that much the second time. US 1 is having a tough time coming out of the north corner, and there could be a lapping out here as Muncey drives real hard, looking for that totally lapsed time. Muncey swinging wide now off the fifth and final buoy of the north corner, and Regas once again trying real hard to get started. He is just now getting ready to complete lap number 2. In fourth place is Miss US 1. Here comes the Miss Swiftway on the inside corner. End of lap number 3. Hawaii Kai in first place. Miss Swiftway in first place. Hawaii Kai, we were watching her out here and we're distracted momentarily. Such Crest 3 coming up the backstretch. She's a lap behind. Your leader, Miss Swiftway, going into the south corner. And the same trouble that happened to Jack Regas at Tahoe. He just puddles along out there. It's a real miserable thing. He's starting his third lap. Hawaii Kai starting his third lap in fifth place. He was running real hot for that number 1 spot. It is Miss Swiftway coming out of the south corner now, moving up the backstretch on her fourth time around the course. Short Circuit coming down here now is 35 seconds behind at the end of the second lap in second place. Now what is she? She's about 42, 43 seconds, 49 seconds behind as Short Circuit hits through about a lot of scuff out there. And Such Crest 3 comes down across the line. She is a lap behind the field, having difficulty getting started. The Hawaii Kai coming slowly down toward the south stretch. Jack will try to get her started. Same thing that happened to him down at Tahoe. The Gale 5 coming across in third place at the end of 3 laps. Miss Swiftway leading. And Miss Swiftway is coming out of the north corner now on her 4th time around the course. Miss Swiftway at 108 miles an hour for her 3rd lap. Miss Swiftway 1,000 feet away from the finish, 500 feet away from the finish of lap number 4. And the second place boat is Short Circuit. And Short Circuit, the second place boat, is just now coming a quarter of the way up the backstretch. So Muncey is going real hard. He goes past Hawaii Kai. And your second place boat, Short Circuit, halfway up the backstretch. Muncey running real hard, going into that corner, trying to build up that time because he has to think in terms of Wahoo and Shanty in Heat 2B coming up. Such Crest moving up the backstretch, and just back of her as we put the glass on, Gale 5. Gale 5 running in third place, and your second place boat, as you know, is the Short Circuit, with the Miss US 1 running in fourth place. And the Miss US 1 is coming out of the north corner now, going very slow indeed. Short Circuit is rounding off the top part of the north turn, and the Miss US 1 is getting ready to finish her lap. She'll be in fourth place. Your second place boat rounding out of the north turn as Hawaii Kai moves miserably down toward the south corner. There she is, Jack Regas, trying to get underway. A real tough break for a real fine kid. And a real tough break for a great crew, Slow Motion 4, old crew that now owns this boat. As the lapping takes place, Short Circuit takes over and maintains second place as she goes by Miss US 1, who's having engine trouble. Such Crest is now in fifth place, just completed her third lap. The field is really spread out now. Here comes Gale 5. Gale 5 running in third place, completed her fourth lap. It's Miss Swiftway running in first place. At the end of lap number 5, Miss Swiftway coming down real hard. There'll be a lapping on Gale 5, the third place boat. If Muncey keeps on driving as hard as he is, his time was 104 miles an hour for that one around. He's catching all the scuff out there. He had 109, 109, 108, 108, and 104. And he is fourth in total lap time at the end of his first section effort, as Maverick has him by 12 seconds. Miss Swiftway moving real hard through the south corner. Moving up the backstretch now, trying to get away from Gale 5. Moving to the inside corner and trying real hard as Gale 5 swings to the outside, leaves Shane at the driver. And then we have Shane is swinging over inside, and Swiftway has to go to the outside on him as he won't back off to him. There goes Miss Swiftway on a lapping halfway up the backstretch of the boat that is now in third place, Gale 5. So that puts Gale 5 a lap behind the leader. And Miss Swiftway moves into the north corner, and there could be a lapping on Such Crest 3, who already is a lap behind the leader, being slow and getting started. The sky is overcast and it looks like it could be rain. Short Circuit is coming out of the north corner now. She is in second place and she is a fur piece behind, 1 minute and 12 seconds behind at the end of the fourth lap. Now she's coming down the line to complete her fifth lap, well behind the leader. Muncey driving real hard off the top part of the north turn. Going past buoy number 4. And moving in on Such Crest 3, which is moving in tight inside. Muncey catching that rough stuff of Such Crest 3 again. He had 104 miles an hour on the fifth time around. He's in his sixth lap, running in first place. Muncey goes to the outside, trying to get away from some of the tough stuff. Coming down the line, 500 feet away. And over the line. End of lap number 6 in first place, Miss Swiftway. He has lapped Gale 5, and Miss US1 is back. So those two boats have been lapped. And Miss Swiftway goes out after Such Crest 3 for a second lapping. The Hawaii Kai down there in the south corner. And the Miss US1 belaboring, coming over the line right now. She's well back. And the Short Circuit running in second place. The Such Crest in fourth place at the end of 4 laps. And the Miss US1 in fifth place at the end of 4 laps. The Short Circuit halfway up the backstretch as Muncey goes into the south corner past buoy number 5. Starts to move up the straight line buoy and moves to the outside of Such Crest 3, and there'll be a lapping. His time, 70 miles an hour through the corners. He goes to the outside of Such Crest 3, and now the water gets a little bit better for him as he goes after the second place boat. Short Circuit. Muncey driving real hard. Here he is, moving halfway up the backstretch, and his time up that backstretch is about 125 to 130 miles an hour. His speed in the sixth lap, the first time that he's been under 100 miles an hour in 16 laps, 98 miles an hour. Your second place boat is Short Circuit, and Short Circuit is well behind. She's coming off the top part of the north turn, and Muncey's going after her real hard, and he conceivably could try to lap the second place boat, which would mean a complete lapping of the field for Muncey and give him a little margin to spare. But I think he's running real hard for that totally lapsed time, and if he can get by some of these heavier boats, why, he'll have a chance to move a little bit. Here comes Short Circuit. She is in second place. She was 1 minute and 26 seconds behind. Now at the end of 6 laps, she is even further behind, 1 minute and 30 seconds behind, 1.5 minutes behind. She lost 4 seconds on the last lap. Here's your leader, Miss Swiftway. End of lap number 7 in first place, Miss Swiftway. Bill Muncey driving as he moves a little bit harder, and his speed was 102.857. Such Crest 3 just winds another lap for herself, and your leader is Miss Swiftway, moving real hard to the south corner, moving in on that second place boat of Short Circuit. Moves slowly through the south corner. Now let's see what Muncey does through that corner. He's really pouring on the heat this time. He's in his 7th lap around the course. Muncey driving lap number 7, coming up real hard now, going past buoy number 4. Chuck Thompson is on buoy number 5. Now it's Swiftway past buoy number 5 in that south corner, starting up the backstretch, trying to move to the inside corner, but Thompson stays in there real steady. He'll probably force him to move outside. It is Miss Swiftway now coming real hard up the backstretch, halfway up the backstretch. Still can't seem to gain much on Chuck Thompson, who's driving in there real steady in second place. A lapping could take place in here before we reach the north turn as Miss Swiftway moves real hard on Chuck Thompson in Short Circuit. Up he comes, up on the outside, up, and hit the deceleration point, and he'll go by him. He does. He goes by him. A lapping takes place. In this, the 7th time around the course for Miss Swiftway. He's lapped everybody in the field. And he's getting ready to lap Miss US1 for the second time out here as she's slowly coming down to the line with some engine trouble. It is Swiftway halfway through the north turn. Chuck Thompson riding on the inside in second place. Now he's a lap behind the leader. Thompson staying inside, and Muncey stays in real tight. Then he moves to the outside. Now Muncey comes down real hard to the inside corner, and he gets the shortest distance between 2 lines as he moves once again 1,000 feet away from the finish line of his lap. He's lapped the full field, the 7th lap. Now we start the 8th lap for Muncey. And Short Circuit is a lap behind, let's put it that way, a lap plus time. Muncey moves into the south corner now, and his time was 102 miles an hour. He is on lap number... he has completed 8 laps in all. He is on lap number 9. Lap number 9 coming up for Miss Swiftway. Such Crest in 4th place at the end of 6 laps for him. Gale 5 running in 3rd place at the end of 7 laps. These lappings out here get real difficult. Miss Swiftway has gone by the US1 for the second time. And the Short Circuit is coming out of the south corner. and probably go by the Miss US-1, who is getting slower and slower and slower, and she may never make it around the full distance. Muncey comes real hard now as he has clear water out in front of him. Halfway up the backstretch now. He's in his 9th time around the course. And the Hawaii Kai, meanwhile, has plowed her slow, painful way around the course and is up in the top part of the north turn. Muncey in Miss Thriftway approaches the deceleration point. 102 miles an hour, the 8th time around the course for Thriftway. Now Thriftway coming around, getting ready for his checkoff lap. And Hawaii Kai trying to finish out here, trying to get moving, trying to keep herself in the ball game. Thriftway goes to the inside, coming down real hard on buoy number 5. Staying in there real tight as Muncey tries to pick up time now. He moves to the 1,000-foot mark on this, his 9th time around the course. He lapped the field full at the end of the 7th lap. Now here in the 9th lap, as we start the 10th and final lap for Muncey, he starts it with a full lap lead over the second-place boat, Short Circuit, 100 miles an hour for the 9th lap for Miss Thriftway as she moves down toward the south corner in her 10th and final time. In 3rd place is Gale 5, and 2nd place is Short Circuit. Short Circuit just coming off the 1,000-foot mark. At the end of her 8th lap, she still has an extra. She's one full lap behind the leader. She's in 2nd place. And Hawaii Kai comes down here next to the official barge, coming in real close, past the 1,000-foot mark. As Such Crest 3 and Miss US-1 are out there. And they're well back in the pack as the Thriftway eases up considerably, coming out of the south corner. And her time was around 76 miles an hour. That's not easing up too much. Hard up the backstretch, the Hawaii Kai turning over here next to the official barge, coming down real close. And maybe Jack's finally going to give it up and go into the pits. It looks like he is. A real tough, gallant try by a real tough, gallant competitor. An expression of regret for Jack Regas. Hawaii Kai, Gale 5 running in 3rd place at the end of 8 laps. Miss Thriftway running in 1st place. Now moving through the north turn in her 10th and final time around the course. Only in 1 lap did she fall behind the 100-mile-an-hour average. She went 98 miles an hour in the 6th lap. Moving to the top part of the north turn, the defending champion, and unless something goes wrong in this next 1,000 yards and a half a buoy turn, or a half a corner turn, she comes past the 5th one now. Why, Thriftway will pick off her 2nd heat section win. Up comes the checkered flag for Miss Thriftway as she moves to the 1,000-foot mark. Now down to the 500-foot mark. That water out there is quite rough. And over the line, another win for Miss Thriftway, the defending champion. Bill Muncey, your driver. And his speed in the final lap, 98 miles an hour. So he'll pick up a pretty good total elapsed time and sit on the beach and watch and see what happens to Miss Wahoo, Thriftway 2, Breathless 2, Miss Bardall, Shanty, Miss Rocket, and Maverick in Heat 2B. We'd like to call in Lou Fagel and ask him what he thought about the untimely end of Hawaii Kai.
Well, it's certainly disappointing, Bill. I haven't seen that happen. I don't understand what they have to contend with, but it's serious.
Well, let me ask you this. Is it, do they know what's the matter with it?
I don't believe they do. It seems to me that she has some trouble with the check valves in the fuel system because it always happens on a turn. I've suggested this to the crew, and I'm sure they're looking. So far, they haven't been able to find it.
I'm quite sure they will. They have the talent. Thank you very much. You're watching the 50th Annual Gold Cup Regatta coming to you from Seattle. This telecast of the Gold Cup brought to you as a public service by Six Rainier Brewing Company.
And we're standing by here on the dock awaiting the arrival of Short Circuit, piloted by Chuck Thompson and owned by that gentleman also from Detroit. And she, I think, still has about a lap to go.
The quill shaft gave out on Hawaii Kai.
We're informed that the quill shaft gave out on Hawaii Kai. They still, however, hope to have her in contention for the final heat. That is, if the points are sufficient. There's some question as to whether Kai would have enough points to make it. That's going to take a little work on the adding machine to figure that one out.
On the official barge, we're still waiting for some of these boats to finish. The Miss Swiftway came by here. That's another win for her. It gives her a first place in Heat 2A with a first place finish in the other section that she was in, Heat 1B. She averaged 104 miles an hour in Heat 1B in winning it. Her unofficial time was 104 miles an hour again in this winning effort. A short circuit had just now come by. She was 2 minutes and 33 seconds behind the leader in second place. The Such Crest still has a couple of laps to go. She's just now 10th and final lap, getting ready to finish off in third place. She started in fifth. Here's the way they started. Hawaii Kai was 1 through the corner. Miss Swiftway was 2 at the end of the first lap, 2 seconds behind. Miss Seattle had withdrawn. US 1 was 3rd, about 18 seconds behind. Gale 5 was 5th. Short Circuit was 4th, and Such Crest was 6th. That was at the end of the first lap. At the end of the second lap, Hawaii Kai dropped to 5th because she boiled out of the turn and just couldn't get underway. Swiftway took over the lead and was the leader then from wire to wire, with the other noteworthy achievement being that she had lapped the full field by the end of the 7th lap. Miss US 1, starting in 3rd place, progressed to 4th, then fell back to 5th after the 3rd lap and still has a couple left to go. She's really been in pain out there engine-wise. Gale 5, starting in 5th place, has moved to 3rd, and will get a 3rd place finish for herself. Lee Shaneth at the wheel. Short Circuit starting in 4th place at the end of the first lap, and then moved to 2nd, and stayed there consistently on the die-off of Hawaii Kai. Such Crest started 6th, and she was well behind the leaders, failing to get started after the 5-minute gun. She was still 6th at the end of the second lap. Then she moved to 5th. Then with the attrition rate out here, she moved to 4th, and Miss US 1 having a tough time. Such Crest will get a 4th place finish, and Miss US 1 will finish 5th.
Heat 2A, Miss Swiftway, having won it some time ago.
The Miss US 1, and there is the Miss Swiftway, the defending Gold Cup champion, Bill Muncey driving. He has 2 section wins to his credit, and we'll be trying to get the total elapsed time. Do you have an unofficial total elapsed time? 17:17.5. That's the unofficial time. That's unofficial. 17 minutes, 17 and a half seconds. All right, Tommy Dargan.
When you move, don't move behind him.
All right, and Bill Muncey comes into the dock, and he's given all the spectators along the shore, excuse me, a little show as he splashed and flashed and turned that big fin toward them and gave them a little spray. He's a very happy boy. He came into the dock pretty hard, but no damage to the front. And the throw to Bill to pull him alongside just failed, but he's standing up in the boat, and he looks like he's a pretty pleased young fella, as well he might be, because he is certainly behaving as a champion, and so is his boat. We talked to Ted Jones just a few minutes ago about how the boat was performing, and he said, well, we've never had to push her that hard before. Why should we? Why should we blow her up? He also said, well, it was quite a thrill to be able to push the Kai, and kind of a thrill to make her blow up. There's a certain amount of truth in that, too, because certainly Swiftway put more of a test to Hawaii Kai than any other boat has so far this afternoon. A cup of water for a relaxed champion. He certainly did. We'll get our feet down here to see if we can... There we go. We'll talk to Bill in just a minute.
Bill?
Here he comes, Bill Muncey.
How do you feel, boy? Like $1 million. Like $1 million bucks. How's your running?
Everything's running real fine.
Okay, now, were you out after the lap record or weren't you?
Well, it was till after I got out there, I found it was rough again, so we'll have to wait till the last heat, I guess.
Okay, now what, this puts you in 800 points, puts you out in the lead, and you're set to go all the way. How do you feel about that?
I'm ready.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. You got nothing particular to suggest as far as redoing the boat or any...
Everything's perfect.
Atta boy. Well, good luck, Bill. Thank you.
Bill, you're running just about as hard and as well as you did at the Gold Cup, only this time your top of your deck is staying on.
Yeah.
Has the boat ever
Boat isn't
performed...
falling apart. Isn't this pleasant?
Has it ever performed better for you, Bill?
No, this Rolls engine's a great engine, and we haven't had a minute's trouble with it. Everything is perfect.
Such Crest give you a bad time out there with a twig, Bill?
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
How do you feel about a Rolls engine, Bill?
I'm nuts about it. It's a great mill.
So, as you heard twice from Bill Muncey, he thinks that Rolls engine is a great mill. That's quite a subject of conversation down here in the pits because you can hear the story in any version. I've heard outspoken criticism of both engines and lavish praise of both, so it looks like this conflict between the Rolls and the Allison is going to continue. Of course, we had an example right here in Heat 2A when a Rolls engine blew on Hawaii Kai and a Rolls engine kept rolling in Mississippi Way. So it's anybody's guess. Now let's go down now to Chuck Herring and Short Circuit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and Chuck Thompson edging into the dock here in Short Circuit. Second place winner in Heat 2A to pick up another 300 points. Chuck, how are you?
How do you feel?
All right,
You got a second out of this job, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that gives you 469 points. How did your boat ride this time, Chuck?
It's riding a little better than it did before, but it's not right yet for that water.
Is it still kiting on you a little?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of the performance of this fellow Muncey out there? I don't know who was out there. I didn't notice the boats. I think Bill won that one, didn't he? I wasn't sure where he was yet.
Yeah, he was about a lap ahead, I think.
Yeah. His boat, if that was Bill went by me, his boat looked real nice out there.
You were turning up better than the last time, though, weren't you?
Yes, the boat was running some better than last time, but it's not right yet.
You complained about it after the first heat.
Yes,
You're still not
right.
satisfied, though.
No, not until I can get in there and open it up,
Your last lap was 90.29, Chuck.
which is very slow.
Did you think you were going faster than that?
No, I didn't think I was going that fast.
Uh-huh. Well, good luck, Chuck Foster. Thanks a lot for talking. We know you want to rest now, so we'll watch for you if you get in that final heat.
Chuck,
Okay, fine.
can you inform us on Miss US? He's still out there, isn't he? Freddie Holder? I don't know what happened to him out there. He's just trying to finish, apparently. A quill shaft? Possibly. It was a supercharger quill shaft. Isn't he? He's still going, though, isn't he, out there? He was Yes. Not very fast, though. Just trying to finish. Well, he's still good for a sixth place. Yeah, it looked as though the same thing happened to Regas out there in that first.
They have a broken quill shaft.
Yeah.
We've got that word from Hawaii Kai.
Okay, thank you very much, Chuck Thompson. You're welcome. Pleasure to talk to you, sir. And let's move up the line now to Dick Ross.
The Hawaii Kai, they're working feverishly to replace the motor. Mike, if you got just a second, Mike Welch, you've laid plans already to replace the motor. Now, what are your chances, Mike, of coming out in this race if you get the second motor in? And
Well, I
operate
don't,
the next
Dick, you know what the point situation is. You have to go 90 miles to get the fastest lap and all that for points. Well, looks like we've lost that.
So you wouldn't get that, but you
no.
can still get in there and place.
We'll have 400 points for sure.
Yeah.
And it may put us in the last heat. All we're doing is getting ready in case we get into it.
Now, this was a quill shaft.
I'm quite sure, Dick. We're guessing, but we feel that it is.
Okay, it's an interesting fact to notice that the minute Hawaii Kai dropped out of the race, that is, the minute he went dead in the water and went slowly moving down the course, the crew members back here on the cradle just very quietly got down from the truck, went over and uncovered the second motor, because they knew exactly what they had to do. They knew that this was the next assignment, and they were all ready and made arrangements to get the crane over here to pull the motor out. I noted my watch when they put the boat on the cradle. It was 5 minutes to 3, just 5 minutes to 3 when the boat went on the cradle. It'll be interesting to see just what kind of speed they make in taking these motors out. I'm sure that they can accomplish the task within a half an hour if they have to. However, there is no particular hurry now because they won't be running again until about 5:20 if they get in that last heat. Now let's go back to Bill O'Mara on the barge.
On the official barge, we have a chance to look at the figures. We still have only unofficial time to go by here. 17 minutes, 17 and 5/10 seconds is what we have unofficially for Thriftway on her winning effort in Heat 2A. And taking a look at Heat 2B, you have a 7-boat start in Miss Wahoo, Thriftway 2, Breathless 2, Miss Bardolph, Shanty, Miss Rocket, and the Maverick. Now, the Maverick, although she didn't win in Heat 1C, she finished second, as a matter of fact, she has a total elapsed time of 17 minutes, 6 and 4/10 seconds. That gives her, or did until we had Heat 2A, it gave her a 12-second bulge over the winner of Heat 1A, or rather the Heat 1B, which was Miss Thriftway. But now, and then what she's going to do in this heat, of course, will will be very important indeed. But at the moment, she has a 12-second bulge going into that Heat 2B as far as the work on the first heat is concerned. Wahoo, Breathless 2, Bardol, Shanty, Rocket, and Maverick. That's the way they line up. And no indications yet from Wahoo. And those Allisons are real tricky. When you let them go this long, they never start. Breathless moving to the outside of Bardol. Bardol having a frozen engine. The other engine was just too new. Norm Evans ran a great race, running in second place. Real great. And his engine froze up on him about at the 9 3/4 lap mark. He was over on the far side just at the deceleration point of the north turn. Now they're all shaping up, beginning to come down in there real hard. This one looks like a real quick one. 137 miles an hour for that backstretch effort by Maverick as she goes through the north corner on the first of 10 times around the course. Breathless on the outside corner. Bardol. And then Rocket. Rocket is out in front of Bardol. Bardol is last. Here's your north turn battle. 3 boats in there, closely bunched. Your first boat is Maverick, and the second boat is Breathless, and Shanty is third, and Rocket is fourth, and Bardol leading. Breathless at the 1,000-foot mark, coming down at the end of lap number 1. And she will be how many seconds behind? In third place is Shanty. Shanty is 12 seconds behind the leader. Breathless is 11 seconds behind. There's about a second difference in the 2 boats. Rocket is in 4th place at the end of the first lap, coming down to the line. And in 5th place will be Bardol. And Wahoo is over here dead in the water to the left of the official barge. It is Maverick through the south corner now in his second time around the course. Maverick leading and widening. Coming up the backstretch as Bardol in last place is coming down now to finish lap number 1 in 5th place. Here's your relative position. First place to the rest of the field. And a tight battle going on out there out of the south corner. As we have Maverick 3/4 of the way up the backstretch, moving very nicely. And Shanty comes hard to the inside corner and starts to take over second place. So it's a 1-2 Wagner entry out there as Shanty moves into second place. And Breathless falls to third, 3/4 of the way up the backstretch. And the speed through the corners for the lead boat, 78 miles an hour. And up the backstretch about 131 miles an hour. The first time around the course, we have Maverick with 110 miles an hour. Wahoo didn't start. Breathless is still coming hard on Shanty. 121 miles an hour from the backstretch for Shanty. Here is your north turn with the lead boat coming out as the wind freshens. And it looks like we might have a storm coming up on us. Past the 1,000-foot mark. Here is your lead boat at the end of 2 laps. Maverick. Maverick leading. And your second place boat is Shanty. Coming out of the spray is Breathless. Coming up tight to him. There's a terrific battle on for second and third. As Breathless tries to stay in there and has to pull off a little bit to get away from the spray of Shanty, who comes at the 1,000-foot mark at the end of his second lap. Rocket is in 4th, and the rest of the field strung out. Bardol is in 5th and last, coming up the backstretch. End of lap number 2 for Shanty. She is 22 seconds behind the leader. In 3rd place is Breathless. She is 27 seconds behind the leader. Your first place boat going into the south corner and out of it. Maverick with Bill Stead driving. His speed 108 miles an hour. 110 the first time around, 108. So his total lap time is going to be real great. Maverick halfway up the backstretch on his 3rd time around the course. And his running mate in 2nd place is Shanty. 76 miles an hour through the corner once again for Maverick. And brother, he's really rocking and rolling over there. And Lou Fagel just shakes his head and says, man, I can remember it over there. You get airborne when things go like that. Here's your north turn camera showing you the first boat coming through there, off the top of the turn on buoy number 3. Maverick, Bill Stead driving. And it is Shanty coming up the backstretch now at the 3/4 point. And in 3rd place is Breathless, about 2 buoy lengths behind. Breathless is 27 seconds behind the leader at the end of the second lap. Bardol is in 5th place. He just now completed his second lap. Your north turn positions, your lead boat coming down across the line, and the second place boat going into the north corner. Maverick leading at the end of 3 laps. 109 miles an hour for the 3rd time around the course for the lead boat, Maverick. Second place, coming out of the north turn. with Breathless coming out of the north turn also. Hot behind him, just 2 buoy lengths back of him. Past the 1,000-foot mark. Shanty, 500 feet away from the finish. This is Heat 2B. Over the line at the end of lap number 3, Shanty, 30 seconds behind the leader. The field gets spread out. Breathless coming down now at the 500-foot mark. And the backstretch. And up that backstretch, we could have a lapping taking place on Bardol, the last place boat. Maverick, the leader, moving up hard now at the 3/4 mark of the backstretch. Moving in on Bardol, the last place boat. Here goes a lapping in that backstretch. Shanty, or rather Maverick, goes past Bardol as Rocket comes down across at the end of 3 laps in 4th place. Maverick moving in on the north turn area, 128 miles an hour up that backstretch in order to pass Bardol. So this is the 4th time around the course for Maverick, the winner of the Lake Chelan Apple Cup race. Up the top part of the north turn, past the 4th buoy. Now moving to buoy number 5. He swings in real tight. Whoa, almost lost it. Great turning effort. Past the 1,000-foot mark. 500 feet away. Over the line. End of lap number 4. Maverick running in 1st place. And in 2nd place, you have Shanty just moving to buoy number 2 of the north corner. Bardol coming down in 5th place. That's last place. Wahoo wasn't able to get started. Bardol in 5th place at the end of his 3rd lap. In 2nd place is Shanty. She was 30 seconds behind at the end of the 3rd lap. As the leader goes into the south corner, that's Maverick. The 2nd place boat comes out of the north turn off the exit buoy. Off the exit buoy now, your 2nd place boat, Colonel Rushley Shanty, moving in there now to the 1,000-foot mark. This is going to put the Wagner entries in pretty good shape for that 3rd and final heat if everything goes well for them. End of the 4th lap for Shanty. She is now 40 seconds behind the lead boat, Maverick, which must really be burning up the course. 109 miles an hour or better for the first 4 laps for the lead boat, which is now 3/4 of the way up the backstretch on her 5th time around the course. Breathless in 3rd place, just now coming across the finish line. She is 57 seconds behind the leader. Shanty is 40 at the end of 4 laps, and Breathless is 57. 132 miles an hour for Maverick up the backstretch, and through the corner, 78 miles an hour. A great driving exhibition by the Maverick. Off the top part of the north turn, your leader, Rocket, in 4th place, 1 minute and 14 seconds behind the leader. And in 5th place is Bardol, way back. Maverick coming hard out of that corner as Bill Stead drives for the total elapsed time. Down to the 500-foot mark, and over the line goes the Maverick. Leading at the end of lap 5 in 1st place. In 2nd place is Shanty, and Shanty is moving into the north turn, past the deceleration buoy, and there will be a lapping by the 2nd place boat and the last place boat, probably coming sometime between now and when Bardol gets through that north turn. Here's your 2nd place boat coming off the north corner. Off the top of the turn, the boat just ahead of her is Bardol, and Bardol's having a tough time as Norm Evans can't get her out from underneath herself. Shanty swings wide and comes way wide, so wide, in fact, that she's going to lose a little time to Bardol and Norm Evans. Maverick is down in the water at the south corner, and so Shanty is the leader. Shanty comes across the line, leading from wire to wire through the first 5 laps. Shanty, 52 seconds. Here's Maverick, just now and away. She's still going, I guess. She was down momentarily. Now she's finally got it with herself. She looks like she's a little bit sick, though. She's halfway up the backstretch, and Shanty will go hard after her. Meanwhile, Shanty is having a tough time getting by the last place boat going through the south corner. Maverick is just limping up the backstretch in his 6th time around the course. He has a 52-second lead over Shanty, but watch this thing tear apart out here as Shanty in 2nd place goes by Bardol out of the south corner and starts to move wide and come after his running mate. As Bill Stead goes past the deceleration buoy, he is barely creeping along. Looks like it might be a little bit of quill shaft trouble, maybe, or supercharger trouble. Quill shaft, mostly. Shanty in the backstretch coming up real hard now, and his running mate, and will take over 1st place if he keeps on moving the way he is. And Maverick is having a tough time out here. Over at the Apple Cup, she went 10 full laps, then went a checkoff lap, and she blew her quill shaft. Your first place boat just creeping through that corner, and the 52-second difference between the two has simmered to naught as Shanty comes up real hard now, a quarter of the way through the north turn. He is in second place, and your boat is Maverick. Maverick creeping and crawling down to the inside lane. Here comes Shanty to the outside, and coming down now, less than a buoy length between the two. Maverick at the 1,000-foot mark, and Shanty at the exit buoy. Coming down now with Shanty coming up real hard. Maverick is still leading at the end of 6 laps. Maverick is still in first place, but here comes Shanty right now. At the beginning of lap number 7, Shanty won. Takes over, and he hesitated momentarily, took a quick look at his teammate, and then went booming off by himself. It is Shanty that is now in the lead. Here comes Bardall. She's in last place. She's been lapped by 2 of the boats. And Rocket is dead in the water at the south corner. Here's the Bardall approaching the south corner. And your lead boat is Shanty. She's moving into the through the south corner very nicely. Colonel Rush Slay, who's been having a lot of rotten luck out here on this unlimited hydroplane field, is now ready to move into contention. So he takes over at the beginning of lap number 7. And the Wagner entry of Shanty and Maverick. And Maverick is moving a little bit better now. She is still in second place. Now, she had a lapping of Bardall, the last place boat, but she's still creeping along out there, so, brother, we're going to have to watch her progress pretty carefully. Shanty running in first place, 3/4 the way up the backstretch, and he just can't seem to get away as Bardall comes back by him on the inside corner, so that evens him up, and the whole field will go by him, and he'll just lose and lose and lose. A rotten break for Maverick and Bill Stead, the boy from Reno, Nevada. Colonel Rush Slay coming off the top of the north corner, past buoy number 2, moving to buoy number 3. And moving real easily, about 80 miles an hour. Colonel Rush Slay wheeled through that south corner, and his speed up the backstretch about 132 miles an hour. Rocket, dead in the water, out of the south turn area. Up the buoy in the north turn comes your lead boat, Shanty, leading in Heat 2B. He took over the lead. This is his 7th lap. Shanty running in second place, started out third, running in first place now at the end of 7 laps, all by himself. Moving up to second place will be Breathless. And Breathless is just going by Bardall on the outside corner out of the north corner. Meanwhile, the lead boat is going into the south corner. So here's your battle out of the north corner. And then a quick look at the south corner as your leaders, Colonel Rush Slay and Shanty, moves in there off the second buoy. Now starts to move to the third buoy, which is right there by the Coast Guard tender. Now, once again, buoy number 4. And meanwhile, Breathless comes by us, running in second place. And Bardall is still running in last place, but has now moved up a position. Breathless is 60 seconds behind the leader, and Shanty starts moving up the backstretch. Maverick at 110 miles an hour at the end of the 5th lap, and well under 70 in the 6th lap. Here's the north turn camera. Give you an idea of how the boats are moving up in there. Shanty won the leader. Moving up. Moving in past the deceleration buoy. Now on buoy number 1. Here comes the Maverick, slowly wheeling around out here. As his running partner, Colonel Rush Slay, gets down in, probably will have a lapping of him. Maverick running in third place at the end of the 7th lap. Bardall is trying real hard to make up ground. Rocket is dead in the water. The attrition rate has been awful in this one. Wahoo didn't even get started. Here comes your leader, Shanty won. We imagine the Wagner camp will be pretty happy on this thing. Here comes Colonel Rush Slay, moving down past the 1,000-foot mark, 500 feet away from the finish of lap number 8. Shanty running in third at the start, running to second through 7, and then in the 7th lap taking over when his partner went 6th. The Maverick failing out there and just limping around, trying to get the points, trying to stay in the ball game. Oh, this is going to be real interesting. Breathless is going by the Bardall on the outside corner. Breathless running in second place, 60 seconds behind at the end of the 7th lap. 92 miles an hour for Breathless, and 99 miles an hour for Shanty, 99 and 97. So totally lap time figures in here too. Shanty's going to have to go better than that to pick up some totally lap time off what Bill Muncey has done. Breathless on the outside. Bardol is now back moving real hard again, but she's still running in last place. And there is Shanty going by his running mate Maverick, who is really creeping and crawling out there. And Shanty looks real good indeed, riding real nicely out there in a rather sharp breeze, 3/4 of the way up the backstretch. Let's watch your action. This is the top pointed boat in the United States last year, the #1 boat, the U.S. national champion. Winner of the Harmsworth, and then from that time on, she started to slide down the trail, and they had to spend a lot of time on her. Now they've got her in real good running order. Shanty, in her first effort, had a second-place finish. Her total lap time was 18 minutes, 20 and 1/10 seconds. She averaged 98 miles an hour. That was in Heat 1B. Picked up 300 points. Now she's going for first place as she gets ready to get the flag. And we come down to the 9th lap. This is the completion of the 9th lap as she rounds off the north corner. And they get ready to hand her the green and white flag to indicate one more time around for your leader in Heat 2B, Shanty. Over the line, your leader in Heat 2B, Shanty. Now starts your 10th and final lap. And the second place boat is Breathless, and Breathless is moving through the north turn. She has successfully lapped Bardol, but Bardol managed to hang on the inside corner, so the margin isn't too great. Meanwhile, Maverick plows her painful way around, losing just about on every lap, almost a position. Well, she could, Bardol, she could lose a position here. She could slip to 4th, but I don't think so, though. The Bardol is a lap behind her. She would have to pick that up and still make it up with about a lap to go. Maverick is running in 3rd place at the moment. Slow but painful. Here is your first place boat moving up the backstretch now in his 10th and final time around the course. He'll meet his partner halfway down the stretch. Maverick and Bill Stead going slowly down toward the south corner, and Colonel Rush Slay booming along in there as Breathless finishes his 9th lap, 45 seconds behind the leader. He has gone from 60 to 48 to 45 seconds, so Breathless is driving a little bit harder out there than Shanty. Colonel Rush Slay goes past the deceleration point of the north corner for the 10th and final time as they get ready to raise the checkered flag. Maverick still running in 3rd place. Here comes the Shanty off the top part of the turn. Watch the big Colonel swing that boat in there off the buoy number 3, now to buoy number 4. Now buoy number 5. And the rest of the field is bunched out of the south corner. Breathless, the second place boat, is just coming out of the south corner and up the backstretch. And Maverick is about to be passed by Bardol. There's the checkered flag, 500 feet away from the finish. Over the line. End of Heat 2B. For the winning boat, Shanty, who took over after being in 2nd place, took over in the 7th lap when Maverick went upsy-daisy out there and was having some trouble with her engine. Bardol has now gone past Maverick. Maverick is in her 9th lap. She still has one more to go. Bardol, who had been lapped by Maverick previously, is now completing her 8th lap, so she's going to have to run like a scared cat out there, and she might still be able to find Maverick before the end of the next couple of laps. So this one's going to be real tight to the wire. Here comes your 2nd place boat out of the north turn, the U-22, J. Murphy, and the Murphy clan doing all right for themselves as the Breathless rounds off the exit buoy of the north turn. Miss Wahoo did not start, and what was a field originally of 6 turned out to be a field of 5. Rocket is out of it. There goes Breathless in 2nd place. She finished 59 seconds behind the lead boat, Shanty, winner of Heat 2B. You're watching the 50th Annual Gold Cup Regatta coming to you from Seattle. This telecast of the Gold Cup brought to you as a public service by 6 Rainier Brewing Company.
Back here in the pits, we have just learned that Miss Wahoo's trouble was that she had changed the carburetor just before this 2nd heat. And the new carburetor that they put in hadn't been checked out. It just simply wouldn't fire the motor. So it was carburetor trouble that caused Wahoo to not even have an opportunity to enter the race. There's a lot of activity going on in the Hawaii Kai camp. They have got the new motor in and a new shaft in, and now it's just a question of getting her ready. Their chances for winning, of course, are very, very slim, but they're determined to get back in there and do what they can.
Taking a check at the boats that are still on the course, your winner was Shanty. Second place went to Breathless. He was 59 seconds behind. Bardall is in third place, and Maverick is now in fourth. And they have 1 lap left to go. And they're in that final lap now. Bardall is halfway up the backstretch, and the Maverick is plowing her slow, painful way through the south corner. All right, Tommy Dargan, what say you?
And here he comes, Colonel Rush Schley in Shanty 1. And the crew makes a wild leap as he was coming in at good speed to stick their legs out and stop the Shanty 1 from running into the dock. That's how Maury Lang, crew chief for Thriftway, tore a ligament in his leg. And Maury, we understand you're watching. I hope you feel all right and there's nothing wrong with that leg. At this moment, Rush Schley is conferring with his crew chief to see how everything is and to give him the first report. That's the first thing they like to do, obviously. Well, here's W.T. Wagner. Bill, you've got 700 points with the old lady. Somebody called her an old lady a while ago.
Yeah, she's pretty old, too.
700 points, but you're definitely in contention, and you're close to that Gold Cup, just as close as everybody except Thriftway.
Well, I think we're still in the running.
Very definitely. How did the boat sound and look to you, Bill?
Well, the old lady, as you call her, which I don't like.
No, I know that.
Is not as hot as she should be. The Maverick is, I think, undoubtedly the hottest boat on the course. But we had engine trouble. But she'll be back in the next one.
And Shanty's still good enough to win races, though.
Well, with the Colonel driving her, yeah.
Well, 2 tries, the first and the second, that isn't bad. How you feel, Colonel?
I feel better. These consolation prizes I don't go for, but that's all right.
All right.
We're still in.
We're still in, huh? We got to make some quick changes here. Pardon? How did the new crop look? A little better. We're going in the right direction. We'll change it again.
Don't you put the 21 on?
Is some of the erratic quality leaving the boat, Russ?
Yes and no. It's still a little wild. Of course, without those 2 engine beasts in there, well, it helps a little bit.
Well, it sure does. Well, I got this shirt on, Russ.
Sorry about Wahoo. What happened?
They had put a new carburetor on because the old one was cracked, and they just couldn't get her started, Russ.
Oh, that's too bad. It's too bad. I really feel bad for both Bill Bowling and Mira Slovak.
And, okay, Russ?
Yeah.
How are you? You happy with the boat in general?
Well, Rush Schley is wound up with 700 points so far and very much in contention. A change of wheel. They went to a 21 wheel, as you heard Bill Wagner talk to Rush Schley about. So at this moment, let's find out about the second place winner, Breathless, with Chuck Herring.
Jay Murphy of the Breathless. That's so much bad luck. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Murphy has just stepped off the boat with a second place and is now in an enviable position of being in. Let's talk for a moment to the Oakland industrialist, Jay Murphy. Mr. Murphy, how do you like that ride?
Oh, wonderful. Jay did a terrific job. He got a beautiful start, and he stayed up near the leaders, so when they fell, he was able to move in. I'm very pleased with him.
You made a remark a while ago that was interesting. Somebody asked you, shouted out there, what would you do? Where would the Gold Cup go if you won it? Would you repeat what you said, sir?
I said I'd drop it in the middle of Lake Washington.
You want me you'd hold it here?
What? No, I just dropped the cup here.
You just drop it here.
Yeah. I'd be so surprised I wouldn't be able to hold on to it.
Let's talk to young Jay. We found out a while ago, Jay, that this is your 25th birthday. Your brother told us that.
That's right.
We weren't aware of that. And that's some birthday present to bring in a third and now a second for 5 1/4. And you are in the final heat, my boy.
Oh, boy, that's good news. The old Blue Bomb's being good to me. She keeps that engine running. I don't know how.
You like this one a little better than the original Breathless?
Yeah. Sentimentally, I don't know, but as far as running's concerned, yes, I do like this boat better. The original Breathless, I don't know. It's a soft spot in my heart for it.
Now, on this race, you were willing to settle for second, I assume.
Quite willing.
It looked like. Now, how about in this final heat coming up at 5:27 this afternoon?
Got to talk to the boss.
Is he going to plan the strategy?
Yeah, he plans the strategy.
Well, generally speaking, your remarks have led me to believe you like to keep the boat running, not necessarily grind it clear down to the board.
Well,
how do you feel about that?
We started the racing season with 4 engines last Monday. That's all we have. We can't afford any more.
The whole season, huh?
For the whole season, Raj had that tough luck, and he's blown 2 engines beyond repair.
Mm-hmm.
And if I blow this particular engine, it means we don't have a spare for the Eastern Circuit. And very frankly, it means quite a bit to me to be able to go back and race in the President's Cup. And
Certainly
it's a real thrill, and I just want to keep these pieces of machinery going long enough to end the season.
So, in other words, what you're trying to say is you're not necessarily going to burn up that course, although if they all if they all lay down for you, well, you're going to go by.
Well, I'll tell you, every time I make plans about a boat race, they all go wrong when you're out there, so we'll see what happens.
Congratulations, Jay.
Well, thank you very
fine
much.
job on that heat. Thank you very, very much. All right, we move. That was Jay Murphy, who just posted a second in Breathless 2. Back up the line now in the pits to Tom Dargan.
All right, thank you, Chuck. Now we're in the small quandary at the moment while we unravel cord. You know, that's one of the little aspects to television coverage with which you might not be familiar, and that's miles and miles of cord. Shanny, this is Wagner.
Yes. How are you, Tom?
Pretty good. How are you? I think we're right up there on the giraffe.
Oh, I see it.
If you haven't met Shanny Wagner, this is the real one. We're behind something now.
Well,
If you want to
let's
come
get
over.
further up.
All right. If I've got enough cord. That's good. All right, here we are. Shanny, we were talking the other day about a comment that somebody made about the doddering old lady.
The doddering old hull, you mean?
Doddering old hull, referring, of course, to the boat. Russ and the boys, and you too, have said that Shanny isn't performing up to what she has done in the past. But are you happy with those 700 points?
Just then, yes.
Just then, yeah. Actually, let's take a look while you're here and make an appraisal of how it breaks down. Thriftway has 800 points, and I haven't made the total on the others so far, but Shanty with 700 is definitely in the number 2 spot. Suppose you give us, some people have heard this, Shanty, but we have a large audience in the Spokane area and the Portland area that haven't too. What are some of the things you go through when your boat is out there racing?
A nervous breakdown. I had both of them to watch that time. You go boom, boom with your binoculars.
Actually, this has been one of the toughest seasons as far as trouble plaguing the boats outside of Maverick's win at the Apple Cup,
That's
isn't it?
right, Tom. We started out with lots of bad luck this year. I guess we had too much good luck last year.
Well, of course, Shanty is still United States champion. Have you got any idea about the fact that the Wagner family or group might be acquiring a third boat?
Well, now that I don't know. I think you better talk to Bill about that.
Well, you probably know, but I thought we might get the secret first from you. We were talking the other day with Bill, and he made some mention about something that was interesting, and that would be a boat built of a radical material, and that's all that I'm going to say. But you think there's a chance that it's a possibility there will be a Shanty, too?
I should still say talk to Bill about it.
Okay, Shanty, thanks very much.
Thank you, Tom.
That was Shanty Wagner, a very lovely person and a real spirited competitor who, believe it or not, has got a lot to do with the morale and everything else that goes to do with putting these two boats in the water and making them compete. Well, that's the story right now from here. There is no answer yet as to what difficulty is plaguing Maverick. So let's go back to Bill O'Mara on the barge.
Let's give you a list of just how tight these things are when you get right down to point scoring. Thriftway has 800 on 2 first-place finishes in her 2 sections. And Shanty has 700 points in her 1st and 2nd place. Gale 525, Breathless 525, Maverick 469, Short Circuit 469, Hawaii Kai 400 points, and Wahoo 400 points. Now there's a tie in 3 instances here. Gale 5 and Breathless, Maverick and Short Circuit with 469, Gale 5 and Breathless with 525, Maverick and Short Circuit with 469, Hawaii Kai and Wahoo with 400. But the total elapsed time feature, I think, would enter into that thing, and Wahoo is out of it, and Hawaii Kai becomes the 7th boat. By 10 seconds, Hawaii Kai becomes the, because you remember the difference in the first time that they ran? Hawaii Kai's time was just 10 seconds faster, 16 minutes 23 and 4/10 seconds, as against 16 minutes 33 and 4/10 seconds. And those are the only two comparative times that you can go on when both these boats have an equal number of points. Hawaii Kai has the fastest time. She has it fast by 10 seconds on the one section of the heat that they completed. The rocket is being towed back in. Marion Cooper standing on the tailpin. And incidentally, the Hawaii Kai cannot win the Gold Cup, well, unless everybody else corked out. But here are the boats that have gone 60 miles so far. Thriftway, Shanty, Gale 5, Breathless, Maverick, and Short Circuit. So 6 out of the 7 have completed 60 miles. Those boats are all eligible for fastest total elapsed time and also for fastest heat speed. And this is the clock that we are involved in. As it turns around, you will notice that it will go to all black, and no boat must be over that line before the clock is, in the terms of the trade, straight up. We have a total of 7 boats out here at the moment, and we're checking over the various rooster tails, as we call the water that springs up behind them. In this race, you have Miss Thriftway, the defending champion, the boat that won the title last year in Detroit in a terrific duel with Miss Pepsi of Detroit. This is Thriftway moving across the infield and to the far side, or the north side. This course runs north and south. North is to our left, south is to our right. You will hear me refer to the south corner and the north corner. Each turn is 5 buoys wide. This course is 3 miles around. The backstretch from the south corner up to the north corner is a little over a mile long. That is where the boats will achieve their greatest speeds. They will average anywhere from 130 up to 170 miles in that stretch. Through the turns, they have 485 feet between each buoy. There are 5 buoy turns in each end. Now the boats are beginning to shape up, and they must not come down past that 1,000-foot mark now that that 1-minute gun is sounded. There is a buoy marker out here 1,000 feet away from the start line. All of these boats will attempt to come down on the line full bore at about 150 to 160 miles an hour. Again, this field consisting of Thriftway, the defending champion, Shanty, Gale 5, Breathless, Maverick, Short Circuit, and Hawaii Kai. 6 of those 7 boats have completed a total of 60 miles. They are in contention for the Gold Cup. And we are certainly definitely coming around now to a point where we have everybody shaping up. 2 of the boats are cutting across the infield, coming down here real tight on the inside corner. The defending champion, Miss Thriftway, is in the middle. Hawaii Kai is right next. And we have the Maverick on the interweight to see if there was anybody jumping the gun on that start. We'll wait for the official word. We're now moving into the south corner on the first of 10 times around the course. The Shanty is turning back up across the infield, coming back up across the middle, and evidently missed one inside of a buoy. She was crowded out. Now she must turn around and come back this side of the buoy, and so she's way last in the 7-boat field. First out is Hawaii Kai. And then second, on the outside corner, we have Miss Thriftway and Maverick. And there's quite a race out there as Thriftway is on the outside of the spray, going up the backstretch. Hawaii Kai, which had trouble in the second heat, is now moving real hard. And we have Miss Thriftway on the outside of Maverick. It's a 2-boat race up the backstretch, halfway up the backstretch. The rest of the field is pretty well stretched out. We'll give you their position as they come around. This is the first of 10 laps around here. Hawaii Kai moving into the north corner now, as the former Slow Motion 4 crew now owns this boat. It's a boat which was formerly owned by Edgar Kaiser, is driven by Jack Regas. In the north turn, in first place, Hawaii Kai, and in second place, we have the Maverick. And in third place, on the outside, we have Miss Thriftway, the defending champion. And Shanty is last, coming hard up the backstretch. Here's your first. In second place is Maverick. Maverick in second place is a total of 7 seconds behind the leader. In third place is the defending champion, Miss Thriftway. And she is 13 seconds behind the leader. In fourth place is Gale 5 at the end of the first lap. And Short Circuit is in 5th place, Breathless is in 6th, and in 7th is Shanty 1. Moving into the south corner now. Your lead boat was Hawaii Kai. It was a legal start. Everybody was right up on the money. A beautiful start for everybody concerned. Out of the south corner now, and his second time around is Hawaii Kai. And the Maverick is running in second place. In third place is Miss Thriftway. And the rest of the field swung out through the south corner. 3/4 of the way up the backstretch, on her second time around the course, is Hawaii Kai. She conceivably could be the winner of this heat, but she will not win the Gold Cup because she hasn't completed another 30 miles. She will have completed but 60 miles out of the necessary 90. However, the Maverick is very definitely in contention, and the Miss Swiftway is running in third place. And now the Gale 5 comes hard after the Miss Swiftway. Moving through the north corner, here is your north corner camera that gives you an indication of how these boats go through there. They're moving through there at about 76 to 80 miles an hour. Here's your relative position between the first and second boat. Your first place boat just rounding off the fifth buoy. The second place boat is Maverick, and the third place boat, Shanty, is just moving into the top of the north corner, and Gale 5 is just coming up to the deceleration buoy. And Shanty is moving up now on the field in fourth place. End of lap 2 for the Hawaii Kai in first place. Hawaii Kai running in first place. Here comes the Maverick in second place. Maverick is 8 seconds behind. Here's your south corner camera that gives you a picture of Hawaii Kai, Jack Regas from California, as the driver, moving into the south corner. Miss Swiftway, the defending champion, is third over the line, and she is 18 seconds behind the leader. In fourth place is Gale 5, and the Shanty is coming up real hard now in fourth place out of the north corner. With the rest of the boats breathless, and one other string, a short circuit is back. Breathless and short circuit are back. Shanty over the line in fifth place. She is 38 seconds behind the leader. The leader is Hawaii Kai in her third lap. She is a quarter of the way up the backstretch. Moving hard up the backstretch is Hawaii Kai, and Maverick is coming after her about 2 buoy lengths back, about 500 feet. The relative difference between first and second-wise, is about 8 to 10 seconds. Maverick in second place, 8 seconds behind, and the Shanty, or rather the Miss Swiftway, is going to have all she can handle in the Gale 5, which is coming up real hard on her. Shanty is running now up the backstretch, and there is a big duel on now. It's likely to develop between Miss Swiftway in third place and the Gale 5. Here's your duel as they approach the 3/4 mark of the backstretch. Gale 5 running real hard, and the Miss Swiftway, which turned in 2 30-mile heats of 104 miles an hour for 10 times around the course, is running real careful out there. The Maverick is running in second place as Muncey is trying to save himself. Here's your lead boat across the line. At the end of lap 3, Hawaii Kai is leading in this particular heat. Maverick is coming off the 1,000-foot buoy, 500 feet away from the finish of her third lap in second place, and she will be a total of 13 seconds behind in second place. In third place is Miss Swiftway. Coming down to the 1,000-foot mark is Miss Swiftway. Out in third place and fourth place is Gale 5 as you watch the boats go through third position. Gale 5 is having trouble engine-wise and is falling back a little bit. The Gale 5 is 30 seconds behind the leader. Swiftway is 26 seconds behind the leader. Here's your third place boat going into the south corner. But Bill, of course, has 2 first-place finishes already. So he's driving in there real cool, real careful, just trying to stay on the edge with the Maverick, which was quite a distance behind him in time-wise. Here's your lead boat, 3/4 of the way up the backstretch in her 4th time around the course. Hawaii Kai, which had trouble in her second heat section, is now really out of the way and moving. The short circuit and the breathless running 6th and 7th are coming across the line right now. Breathless is 7th. Hawaii Kai through the top part of the north turn, closely pursued by Maverick, which is about 3 buoy lengths back, and the Miss Swiftway is running in third, and the Gale 5 is coming up real hard once again on that backstretch. Roy Doobie is driving a Detroiter up against a former Detroiter as Bill Muncey makes his home out here now. Out of the north turn area comes the leading boat, Hawaii Kai, coming down to the 1,000-foot mark, 500 feet away, and over the line. At the end of lap number 4, Hawaii Kai still running in first place. She's been there from wire to wire. Maverick rounding out of the north turn as the shadows begin to darken and deepen here in the Pacific Northwest area. We've been threatened by rain all day, but haven't had a bit of it. Here's Shanty, or rather Maverick, coming down to the line. Over the line at the end of lap number 4, she is 15 seconds behind. Her speed, Swiftway's averaged 99 and 100 miles an hour in third place, and the Maverick 103, 102, and 102. Swiftway in third place as the Maverick in second place goes to the south corner, and Gale 5 is creeping up on Miss Swiftway as they go down the stretch toward the south corner. Gale 5 is in fourth place, 30 seconds behind. She's just a second behind Swiftway in third place. The Shanty is coming up now, has moved into contention, but she's only in fifth place. She got off to a bad start. She missed the buoy. Here's the lead boat, halfway up the backstretch, moving very easily, very nicely, as the south turn reveals to you the boats moving in there real hard. The Hawaii Kai moving into the north turn area. In second place is Maverick approaching the north corner, and the two boats fighting out for 6th and 7th. They're having quite a dogfight for themselves out of the north corner. So that's the situation with the various boats out here spread all over the course. Here comes the Hawaii Kai off the north turn area on her 5th time around the course. Short circuit, running in 6th place. And Breathless now passes her at the end of the lap and goes into 6th. And we have short circuit 7th. A 7-boat field, and they're still all out there. And it's Hawaii Kai coming across the line. At the end of the 5th lap, she's still out in front, number 1 in this particular heat. But she only has 400 points. And the way they're going out there looks like they're all going to finish. We're at the halfway mark, with the leader being the Hawaii Kai, and Maverick, the second place boat, is over the line. She was 15 seconds behind at the end of the 4th lap. She is still 15 seconds behind. In third place is Miss Thriftway, moving real hard, and the gale is coming up on her very hard. Here's your first place boat going through the south turn, and there's going to be a lapping taking place from the 6th and 7th place boats by your lead boat, Hawaii Kai. Miss Thriftway running in third place now, trying to stay in there. She has quite a bulge in totally lap time for bonus points, and she's trying to work real hard now for over. She wants to finish, and she has to finish 1, 2, 3. She must particularly finish ahead of Shanty, which is only 100 points behind her, but is 2 positions behind her. Breathless and short circuit up the backstretch as your lead boat crawls up on them at the north corner. 3/4 of the way up the backstretch. Hawaii Kai moving in real hard on Breathless, the 7th place boat, and there could be a lapping curve through the north turn. Short circuit is in 6th place, just about a buoy length ahead of Breathless, about 485 feet. Hawaii Kai coming up real hard as Maverick begins to pick up a little time and distance, and there is a terrific duel now up the backstretch between Miss Thriftway and Gale 5, driven by Roy Doobie. This is the third drive of the afternoon they've had for Gale 5. Started with Bill Cantrell, came on with Lee Shannon, whose Gale 6 turned out to be a little bit sick engine-wise. And now Roy Doobie is in there going real hard. Looks like he's going to go by Miss Thriftway. Here comes Hawaii Kai as she laps the 7th place boat, just shy of the end of her 6th lap. Breathless is in 7th. And there's the lapping as Hawaii Kai at the end of the 6th lap is number 1. And she goes after the 6th place boat, and there'll be a lapping at the south corner on the 6th place boat. And the 2nd place boat comes down past the 1,000 foot mark. That is the Maverick. And she is better than 15 seconds behind in 2nd place. Here is your south turn area as the boats move through there, and there's a lapping in the outside corner. And we have Gale 5 now running in 3rd place as Miss Thriftway is being closely pursued by Shanty 1. Miss Thriftway, the defending champion, has fallen off to 4th place. And Miss Thriftway comes down to the south corner as the rest of the field springs out, and Hawaii Kai has now lapped both the 6th and 7th place boats and is halfway up the backstretch. Shanty 1 over the line and in 5th place. All right, let's take a look at the whole field as we start with Hawaii Kai, 3/4 of the way up the backstretch. And moving back down through the field, your 6th and 7th place boats are behind her after a lapping had taken place in this last lap. Maverick is the next boat down the line. And then we have Gale 5 running now in 3rd place, and the defending champion, Miss Thriftway, with 2 first-place finishes in her section, coming out of the corner in 4th place. And the Shanty is coming after her real hard, and it looks like Muncey is trying to nurse his boat along. I don't think the defending champion has a well boat out there, and he is not more than 3 buoy lengths ahead of Shanty, who seems to be gaining on him. Now, let's take a look at the lead boat coming out of the north corner as she comes down to the 1,000 foot mark. This is her 7th lap. She is out in front in 1st place. The Maverick is coming up real hard on the 6th and 7th place boats, and there could be a lapping take place there on the next lap. At the end of lap number 7, Hawaii Kai is out in front. And here are the times on the back laps. 103 miles an hour for Maverick, 102, 102, and 102 in 2nd place. And for Hawaii Kai, we have a total of 113, 105, 105, 104, 101, 100, and 104 miles an hour average. In 3rd place, and that Shanty 1 is really gaining as the Gale 5 took a big leap and tries to get underway and does. Roy Doobie with a good drive. He hit a bad wake out there. And Thriftway piling along out here, having a tough time back in the wake, and the Shanty is coming after her real hard. These 2 boats are the ones that are definitely in contention. So let's see what Muncey has to do here as he moves real slowly, real carefully, trying to hold his boat together. We are at the end of the 7th lap for most of these boats. Shanty is 56 seconds behind the leader, and Gale 5 in 3rd place is 30 seconds behind. Thriftway is 43 seconds behind. Going into the south turn is Thriftway, the defending champion, moving through the south turn now as the backstretch comes into view, and we have Hawaii Kai moving up that backstretch real hard, and Thriftway coming out of the corner in 4th place, and Gale 5 moving up real hard. Here comes the move out of the north corner for your lead boat, Hawaii Kai, as she's coming around on her 8th time around the course. Hawaii Kai, who had a first place finish and had the fastest heat time, 16 minutes, 23 and 4/10 seconds, is now coming down to the line, 500 feet away, at the end of her 8th lap, running number 1. Maverick has gone by breathless in 7th place, and the 3rd place boat is about to lap the 7th place boat, and there could be a lapping of the 6th place boat, Short Circuit from Detroit, driven by Chuck Thompson. Here's your north turn with all of those boats involved that we told you about. The Short Circuit trying hard to keep from being lapped by the Maverick, who is coming in on the outside corner. And now the Breathless is about to be lapped by Gale. And the Maverick gets by Short Circuit at the beginning of her 8th lap. Maverick is 29 seconds behind the leader, and your leader is well out in front, moving up the back stretch. As once again, Gale 5 has trouble, but she finally laps Breathless. Here comes the 4th place boat, Miss Thriftway, over the line as the rest of the field moves up the backstretch. Thriftway is now 50 seconds behind the leader. Gale 5 in 3rd place is 37 seconds behind the leader. And here comes Shanty as she is in 5th place. And let's see how far behind she is. Meanwhile, the leader, Hawaii Kai, is moving into the north corner on his 9th time around the course. Shanty is 1 minute and 7 seconds behind the leader. He's fallen off considerably. And Hawaii Kai has gone dead as Maverick comes on real hard. Hawaii Kai, after leading for a total of 8.5 laps, has gone dead in the north corner. And this is exactly the same thing that happened to her before, only it happened sooner. And so Maverick is moving into the north corner now and has taken over 1st place. And that means that 2nd place belongs to... and the Gale has gone out of the race. So we have Thriftway moving into 2nd place. Maverick is 1st. The Gale 5 is running way wide over by the buoy line, 3/4 of the way up the backstretch. And here comes Maverick out of the corner. She's out in front, 1st place now, with the Hawaii Kai dead in the north corner. So Maverick is your leader, coming down to the wire now, getting ready to start her 10th and final lap after running in 2nd place for 8 solid laps. Starting the 10th lap is the Maverick, running in 1st place. But she's way behind on total elapsed time. Let's see how close she comes as Muncey, the defending champion, moves up into 2nd place with the malfunction of the Gale 5. The Short Circuit has just passed us. She's still in 6th place, and the Breathless is in 7th as the Miss Thriftway comes down now, and the Shanty is moving through the north corner just behind Thriftway. Your south turn camera that shows you the Short Circuit moving in there. She's the 6th place boat at the moment. And the Miss Thriftway is moving real easily, trying to pick up a repeat win on her championship of last year. The Shanty comes across the line, and she is now in 3rd place. Thriftway is 2nd, Shanty is 3rd. Gale 5 is still crawling around on the outside, but looks like she's going to go over to the pit. Gale 5 has dropped out of it. So 1 out of the 7 has quit. In fact, 2 out of the 7 have quit as Hawaii Kai is dead in the north corner. Moving up the backstretch is the Maverick. The Maverick moves to the 3/4 point of the backstretch. She is in 1st place. And in 2nd place is Miss Thriftway. And Miss Thriftway is in her 10th and final lap, and so is your leader, Maverick, as the rest of the field stretches out. And we have a lapping occurring on the 7th place boat, Breathless, with Miss Thriftway moving to the outside, about a halfway up the backstretch, as the Gale 5, with Roy Doobie at the wheel, keeps limping around out here. And the Gale 5 has now slipped to 4th place. The Breathless is still running, well, would make her 6th place now, in the Short Circuit in 5th, as we have Hawaii Kai out of there, and the Gale 5 is still moving a little bit. So 1 out of the 7 is out there, and Miss Thriftway goes by Breathless and laps her just at the approach to the north corner. And the Maverick is having trouble. She's swinging fairly wide, but I don't think that she'll come down. Now there she is. She's picking up real hard. Here she is coming down, ready to get the checkered lap. And the Miss Swiftway is running in second place. Maverick over the line. Winner of heat number 3, Bill Stent. And we hear some of those Texas guns of Bill Wagner's group down here, whooping and hollering it up. Here comes your second place boat, the defending champion, taking second place in this, which came into this heat with a total of 700 points, is now running in third place and has just finished her 10th lap, and she finished a total of 39 seconds behind her teammate, Maverick, who was the leader. Maverick first, getting a total of 400 points for this heat effort to be added to what she already has, and Swiftway getting a second place finish, giving her a total of 300 plus the 800 that she has, and Shanny getting third place to add to the 700 that she already has. You are watching the 50th Annual Gold Cup Regatta, coming to you from Seattle, Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have you meet two men who are quite famous in the world of unlimited hydroplane racing. You heard from them vocally just prior to the start of this race. Now I would like to ask them to draw on their some 30 years of experience in this field and give us an analysis. Immediately to my left is Joe Taggart, the driver of Slow Motion 4, which was the first unlimited hydroplane that we had in this area, owned by the former Stanley Sayers, who is now dead. And Lou Fagel, who drove for him. Both these men drove for Mr. Sayers, and he had two famous boats, Slow Motion 4 and Slow Motion 5. And Mr. Fagel was the man who survived the flip that we saw on the screen here just prior to the start of this heat. Well, gentlemen, let me turn things over to you and tell me, what did you think of the race?
That start and finish, what did you think of it?
Well, that was one of the best races I ever saw. A lot better than any I'd ever ran, I'm sure of that. I didn't know whether they were all going to be able to stay on the course. The Shanny didn't stay on the course going in the first turn. I don't know whether she got crowded off of it or not.
Well, it looked to me like she got crowded off. She got to the inside corner, and she must stay on this side of the buoy, on the shoreline side of the buoy, and she got in. She had to turn around and go back, and that lost her opportunity, I think.
Well, that looks exactly what happened.
That was a bad break. However, I think Swiftway had it made all the time. She had the points and the position to go. So it looked to me like the rules proved out today in a big way.
Well, now, we might ask you just for a brief explanation, what did Miss Swiftway have to do now? She didn't have to drive to win another position.
No, she didn't have to lead this heat, Bill.
Yeah.
All she had to do was to bring in a second or a third, at least that close to Shanny.
Now, this is a 90-mile race, literally speaking, with two stopovers, isn't it?
That's right.
Joe, from a driver's standpoint, what's the toughest heat? The third one when you get in there and you're going up for grabs, gentlemen?
Well, they're all tough, Bill. You got to get through the first two to get into the third one, you know.
So they're all equal in value.
That's right.
Lou, let's
just listen to this. Your mom up here. She wants you. Here she is. Hi, Mom. Get her down here. Get her down here. Come on, Bill. Just watch this. Mr. Muncey, you proud of your son? That's right. Yeah. 15 points and a Gold Cup champion again. Wonderful. Bill, listen. Billy, New York, Los Angeles, all over the entire nation. You got a word for him, fellow? Hello, it's fun to win, and to all my friends in Detroit, and my brother very especially. Good for you, Bill. And Mrs. Muncey, you happy? Good. All righty. Well, if you don't think that isn't a happy moment, take a look. There's a wonderful crew as Bill Muncey runs through, and oh, there they go. Jack Ramsey. What? The whole crew is in, and along with the entire crew, Jack Ramsey, Bill Muncey, and they're all fighting in. I'm sure you can understand that this is one of the most thrilling moments for an unlimited hydroplane crew in the world. Basically, because of the work that they go through to make these complicated engines and delicate crafts actually operate, despite the thousands upon thousands of horsepower, and when I say that, I mean literally between 3,000 and 4,000 horsepower in some of these engines. These are delicate, fragile boats that require the ministrations of a very thoughtful, conscientious, careful, and loving crew. That's why the people of the Seattle, Puget Sound area and the entire Pacific Northwest have taken hydroplane racing so much to their hearts, because
This is truly a tremendous sport, one that requires not only a great deal of courage, but skill and perseverance and a tremendous amount of patience. So perhaps it might appear like just a boat race, but this is the culmination of many long nights and coffee instead of dinner and just saying hello occasionally to the kids. Bill Muncey's father has come out from Detroit to see this race along with his mother, so this is a very happy occasion for them as well. Last year in the Gold Cup in Detroit, as you may perhaps know, the decision was contested. Originally, the decision was given to Miss Pepsi on the basis of disqualifying Tripway for cutting a buoy. But they've got Ted Jones now, the man who designed this boat and is its mentor. And Ted looks like he's going to take a little swim in the water, too. And here he comes, Ted Jones, the man who designed by himself. This is the man who designed the three-point hydroplane and actually took the Gold Cup originally from Detroit with the slow-mos. The old hydroplanes are 1 point, and the ones you've seen operate today are really of a revolutionary design. So these three-point hydroplanes are now the standard for the world. And if you enjoyed this third and final heat of Gold Cup 1957, you can certainly understand why it is so. There is a happy group of people. The Rolls engine and Thriftway certainly held on. Bill drove what was a very smart race, actually, holding back, not pushing all the RPM to it that he could have done so, but just riding a steady race in order to finish and to get his total points. As we understand unofficially that the total points are 1,500. But at any rate, there's no question this time, I'm sure, that Miss Thriftway is the winner. We hope that you've enjoyed this lovely moment and this wonderful moment for the crew. Chuck Glassford over there is a fellow who has been nursing Miss Thriftway over at Ted Jones' home on the other end of the lake, and he is really, really happy. So at this moment, let's go back to Bill O'Mara on the barge.
All right, here on the barge, we can spell it out for you. Miss Thriftway successfully defended her championship and picked up a total of 1,500 points. She arrived at that by getting a second-place finish and 2 first-place finishes, giving her 1,100 points on her heats 1, 2, and 3. Bonus points, a total of 400 on her lowest, on the total elapsed time for the full 90 miles. And a tough effort by Shanty, going almost for naught. So you have to hand it to the Miss Thriftway, as for the second year in a row she comes out on top. In this, the Indianapolis big one, the big Kentucky Derby of unlimited hydroplane racing, Shanty gets a second place out of it, the Wagoner entry having a total of 925 points for second place. And third place, a total of 869 points. Quite a bit of celebration going on down there at the moment. Goes to Maverick, a total of 869 points. And then 638 points goes to the next finisher, and 620. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the way we spell it out down here. And, of course, the big opportunity goes to the winner of the Gold Cup for this year, the defending champion, Miss Thriftway. The Gale 5 picks off the 4th place spot, so you have a Detroit entry getting the 4th place spot. And getting a 5th place spot will be a Short Circuit with 620 points. Miss Thriftway, Shanty, Maverick, Gale 5. We're trying to put them up there in a hurry for you, and I think we'll wait a little bit and see if the boys can get themselves squared away. Short Circuit picked off 4th place. Checking them for you very carefully. The crowd begins to gather down here. We've had beautiful weather for this event. This is the 50th annual Gold Cup, the Golden Gold Cup as we called it, and I'm quite sure that what we have seen out here indicates that they're going faster and they're doing a better job of it, and the boats are holding together in much better fashion. Miss Thriftway, the winner, picking up a bonus effort of 400 points on total elapsed time, and so your winner once again of the 1957 Gold Cup Championship, the defending champion, Miss Thriftway, driver Bill Muncey, representative owner of the Associated Grocer Group, Willard Roads, with designer Ted Jones, who designed this 3-point unlimited hydroplane. Now, Tom Dargan.
I would like to say this on behalf of all you fellows, all of the engineers of King Television here in Seattle, and all of our staff. It's been wonderful being with you. Our directors today have been Lee Schulman and Bernie Carey, technical director Stan Carlson.
The 1957 Gold Cup race has been brought to you by Willis Motors, world's largest manufacturers of four-wheel drive vehicles. The Universal Jeep, world's most useful vehicle. The rugged Jeep truck that hauls a ton or more. And the exciting new forward control line, including the FC 150 and the biggest, newest of all Jeep trucks, the forward control FC 170. Be sure to watch the new Maverick Show beginning Sunday, September 22nd on ABC TV.